Hello. Good. Hi, everyone. Just testing for you guys that are watching this recording. Hi, yeah. Big booty, big booty, big booty. Hi, yeah. Hello. 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 Yeah. What? Admit all. Okay, admit all. Admit, admit, admit. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. All right. Okie dokie. All right. One more minute and we'll get started. I just got off the phone with Sarah, so she's on her way. Probably her computer decided to read whatever. Technology and I aren't friends today. Okay. We're getting a divorce, actually. I've called my divorce attorney, and we are going to get a divorce, Technology and I. Hey. It's not a friendly situation happening right now. Hi, everyone. Welcome. There is Miss Beck. Blindauer Beck. Blindauer Beck. I'm going to make her a boss so she can let people in. There she is. Make a co-host. Make a co-host. Hi. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's them calling me again. I will call them back in a second. All right. Hi, everyone. Okay. Okay. Hello. So all of you know that I got kicked off Facebook for no reason. And I don't know when I'm going to be let back on. We have an inside person, for you guys that know, Scott Cargill's wife works for Facebook. So we have a ticket into them, but again, yeah, okay. We have a ticket in, but that doesn't mean that we're going to get through. So we're going to finish out this. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to ask you people that are currently not clients to or don't have a relationship or are coaching with me. I'm your coach. If I'm your coach, or you are okay, so I'm looking specifically at Evans and Anna, who both are coaching with more than one coach at Actors Fast Track. So if you can do me a favor and send it to Scott, that would be helpful. But if you don't hear right back from Scott, don't send it. For you guys that are coaches, coaching with Actors Fast Track, please don't send it to me, because I have to deal with all these people that aren't clients. And so send it to your coach at Actors Fast Track. What the assignment is for today is to, now, hopefully, if most of you like, I know that, for instance, Jackie, you were the first person that posted. And when I sat down at the dining room table to start looking at all the pitches last night, I just started at the top and I was working my way down when Facebook kicked me off. And then they sent me on a goose chase, chasing my tail. Basically, I'm stuck in a circle, like they nailed 1 foot down and I'm going around in circles is what's happening right now, which they're like, so it's like crazy. I'm not going to explain, but anyway, I ended up on Zoom with Scott and his wife, and his wife works for Facebook, and she's like, I've never seen anything like this. And so anyway, after dealing with that, I texted all the coaches, and I think a lot of them hopped on the Facebook page and we're giving you guys feedback. I just want you to be really clear about who the coaches are at Actors Fast Track. They are Brian Coffey, who's on here right now. They are Jessie Holder, and she probably was on there commenting because I asked her to get there and comment. They are Scott Cargill, and we have a new coach that just graduated from our coaching training program. His name is Alec Tincher, Tincher, and he possibly was on there looking at your pitches as well. So, and some of the clients were good enough to be giving feedback as well, which is great. Like, take their feedback but I'm just telling you that I went to my coaches and I asked them and Sarah to get on there and let you know what was happening and to give you feedback. What I would like you to do is I would like you to take, if you did not get any feedback, then don't worry. And if you did get feedback, either one, I want you to reshoot the video if you did get feedback using the feedback and send it to me. If you are not currently an Actors Fast Track client or you're not currently coaching with me, send it to me, because, you know, it's a lot, because a lot of people are going to watch this video. And so I'm probably going to get like 40 fucking emails tonight. So I'm just letting you know that I have the night ready to look at all of your pitches. But just know that, you know, I'm asking you to hit my email box, which is going to be really pretty much insane. So I'm going to put in the chat what my email address is. Okay. It's Valerie@actorsfasttrack.com. Okay. I put it in there right now. And, Sarah, can you do me a favor and tell Taylor to add that to the email today? If you still want to post it in the Facebook group, you can post it in the Facebook group. The coaches will be in there giving feedback. But I would like you to take the notes that I gave you or that one of the coaches gave you and reshoot your video, send it to me. And if you didn't get any notes and you still want to get notes on your video, your pitch, send it to me. And I will get through, I promise you, I will get through all your pitches tonight and I will give you feedback. Okay, so that's how we're going to handle this. And I'm really sorry that Facebook is such a bitch. So that's how we're going to handle it tonight. And probably to the end of the challenge. Just to give you like a heads up about what's going to happen. Today is really your last chance to get all of the notes you need to get. And then I'm going to ask you to shoot a final version of your pitch video. And I'm going to ask you to send it out. So like Leo, if you're listening, Leo's not on here, but if you're listening to this, Leo, and also, by the way, Chris Pan, Facebook Messenger is not working either. So you have to send it to my email, y'all. Okay. So here's the deal. Leo did a great pitch, but I asked him to do it in front of a backdrop. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't need to fix anything in his pitch. He just needs to shoot it in front of a backdrop because it was a little distracting with the cabinets. And then Corrine's was a little distracting out on the balcony, you know, so there was some things that just technically needed to be fixed. So if you decide that you just needed to fix some things technically about your pitch, then you can reshoot the final product today and send it to me. And then tomorrow you can spend the day looking for the email, and then you're going to send it out. You're going to send out your pitch. Okay. So today it's kind of like a weird assignment, but the assignment is to send me your pitch, either with adjusted with the notes that you were given yesterday, if you did in fact get notes, or just send me the pitch that you did the original date if no one gave you feedback on it. Okay, and send it to my email, Valerie@actorsfasttrack.com is the email. And some of you guys are probably going to have to send it via WeTransfer or Vimeo, so it can go through, or send me a link to a private YouTube if you want to do that. However you want to send it. You'll know if it gets through or not. For the few that I watched, I wanted to say that don't misunderstand me when I talk about inserting clips in there. Some of you inserted too many clips. Some of you, the clips didn't make sense for what you were trying to get across. And the other thing that I saw in the little that I watched before I got booted was that a lot of you were not making a direct ask for what you want. And that's very frequent with actors. You guys hem around the bush. You don't ask for what you want. You're not clear. And then on top of it, when I tell you to ask for what you want, you come back at me saying, well, that sounds desperate. It is not desperate to ask for a job, right? It is not desperate to present yourself as a candidate for a job. That's all you're doing. You're asking for a job, or you're asking to be considered by that director or producer or writer because they do things that are in your wheelhouse, right? So it doesn't need to be fancy, right? Like, I think a lot of you were trying to put clips in there to make it fancy, and it was too much. Like, it was too much. And you were upstaging your direct ask. I mean, a lot of times it's just really cool, you to camera, right? Or you doing something. If you guys want to see, like, there was a couple of really good pitch videos. I mean, obviously Brian Coffey's pitch video yesterday that he posted was a textbook pitch on how to do a pitch. And if you didn't go and see Brian Coffey's pitch on the Facebook group, please go watch it. It's really good. And it's not too long. It's short. It's to the point. It's great. Violetta did a great pitch yesterday, and it was just to her camera, and it was just Violetta, and it was really good. And she really got across who she was and what she can do. So I think that's a good pitch to take a view at. Again, I did not get to watch all the pitches before I got booted. So I'm sure there was some other good ones on there. So, you know, I just wanted, those two really came to mind because they were really, really, really good pitches. Okay. So take a look at those if you haven't already, and you know, and redo it and send it to me. Scott, you're here, right? I saw you. Where are you? There you are. Can you come on? Scott Cargill? I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he can't come on right now. Brian, did you get to watch some of the videos?
Hi.
Hi.
I did, yes. I put a couple of comments on some of the videos.
Okay.
Yes.
So what would you say as a result of what I'm saying?
Well, of course, I agree with everything you're saying. I would say that the thing that's most important is brevity. A lot of people go way too long. And they, like you were saying, is that we don't directly ask for something. And this is a lesson I had to learn myself many years ago. Ask for what you want. State it clearly, state it once. And well, I mean, if you're gonna do a hamburger essay, you want to state it at the top and state it at the bottom, definitely. But be very clear. And if you're complimenting somebody, make sure that compliment is very clear of what you're talking about. I saw, in general, the ask and the compliment sometimes can get rambly. And it's very natural to do that, absolutely. But just look at what you're trying to say and cut it down to the essential compliment and the essential ask. That's my notes.
That's great notes. Yeah, I remember more than once saying to you when you were a client, you said, well, I remember when you said, well, how should I ask them to shadow direct Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I'm like, you should just ask them. He was like, I know you were going to say that.
Yeah. Just really ask for what you want.
Yeah, just ask for what you want. You guys would be shocked how many people do not do that in every form of business.
Yeah.
Not just in acting, in every part of life. You guys do not ask for what you want. So you got to be really clear about what do you want and what's going to work for you and not have a feeling attached to it. I think that's really a hard part for me, at least. Right? Like, oh, I don't want them to not like me, or I don't want them to think I'm a bitch, or I don't want them to never call me, or whatever the thought process is when I don't ask for something.
Yeah. That's one of the things I really loved about Leo's video, is that he was so confident in himself. It wasn't about him. It was about his excitement for the material. And that was really, I felt like for that video, I could have watched it all day long, because I was like, oh, is he going to do another accent? He's going to break it. But truthfully, it should be short. But yeah, that's what I liked about it. It wasn't, you weren't like, oh God, please, please, please. It was, this is what I want. This is what I know about what you're doing. And this is a great marriage. So let's work together.
Yeah, that was so good with Leo. And then Cindy, I wanted to say something to you, Cindy, client Cindy. Is that's what I was saying to you when I left the message for you on your video, was that I felt like it was that, and it's weird with you, Cindy, a little bit, because what you're selling is a little bit of that comedy. So that little bit of like not sure about yourself kind of works in your favor in your funniness. But I feel like in this that you've got to have that sort of wink in your eye when you do it if you're pitching. Because like Brian, you're selling not the dumbest, the smartest dumb guy in the room. Yeah. You're selling that. And so, but like we clearly know that you're doing it in a pitch video as tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Cindy, I want you to go look at Brian's video with that in mind, because that was kind of what I meant in the notes that I was giving you in your pitch video. And your pitch video also rambled a little much too. I think you can cut it back. So, for you guys, a lot of you guys, initially, you're probably going to need to write out what you're going to say till you get really good at it. And then you can kind of go, it's really hard to wing it. I mean, like, we've all been in acting class or acting school, and very rarely do you meet an actor that can freaking wing something completely and be brilliant. I mean, I very rarely met those people. Usually it's, it's really good improvisers, like they're not a dime a dozen. Right. And so you have to be really good at it. So sometimes it's better to be scripted and then learn how to get a little bit more relaxed as you do it, if that makes sense.
I also want to say something about putting clips into your video. The reason I did it was because I am selling a specific thing. But even if I didn't have those clips, I'd still be doing this video. So if you don't have clips, don't think you're out of the water here. That's not what it's about. It's what I'm just backing up my material with my ask with that material. So don't feel like, oh no, I don't have clips, I can't do this. You can totally do it. You don't need anything. You just need you.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Yeah, because I felt like some of the clips were trying a little much, like they were trying too much. And also, like this sounds like wrong, but in and out, like don't overstay your welcome. Like want them to see more. I'd rather have you want them to go, can you send us more stuff? You know, like that's what you want. If you overstay your welcome, they're like, I hope they never send anything to me again. So you always want to make sure that you're quick and light on your feet and give them a little bit. Don't ever fire hose them. Don't ever fire hose them.
Give them the punchline and get out. Walk out of the room.
Boom. Right. Yeah. Even like Brian, before he did another version of that pitch video and he sent it to us, to all the coaches. And every coach had this note because he had this thing on the end and we're like, take that off. And he did, and it made all the difference in the world. Right. And so even Brian like works on these things. Like that's the great thing about the coaches of Actors Fast Track. It's like, they're not just telling you what to do, they're doing it themselves. Right. And Brian, you got a audition, right? From your pitch.
I had an audition from it. Yes. For
all right.
Almost exactly what I wanted, but definitely in the right genre. So that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. So these things do work. That's why we're telling you to do them. And we want you to have a really good one. And look, you guys, look, one bad pitch video is not going to ruin your career. They're not even going to remember it. So don't like, this whole thing about like, oh my God, they'll hate me and they'll put me on a blacklist. And like, you are giving people way too much credit for having space to think about you in their brain.
Yes.
They don't do that. No one does that. Do you remember the guy that you yelled at yesterday, or last week because they fucked up your phone bill or whatever it was that you were mad at? Like, we've all lost our shit in the last month to someone. If you haven't, good for you. But like, right, do you remember their name or do you care? No one cares. No. Right. And with that being said, people are very stressed. Gas is $10 a gallon. There's a fucking war going on. Innocent people are being, slaughtered. Like, it's like a lot of shit's happening in the world. Okay. So of course we're all stressed, and social media has brought a whole new level into that in the last 5 years, right? Which creates us all sort of having this kind of ability to slap someone without consequences. You would never do it if they were standing right in front of you as a person, but it's easy to do it on social media, right? And so we've all been slapped, and we probably turned around and slapped someone else. So just understand that, it's a stressful time, right? The good news is that this is when actors work the most, because people need escape. Like, I watched Inventing Anna in like 2 days. Who else watched Inventing Anna in 2 days? I mean, go on. Like, we're absorbing content at an alarming rate, which is good for all of us because they need to produce more content. And so we all are, right? Okay, who has a question? I know some of you are coming on late. So let me just say the assignment one more time. If you did, in fact, get feedback on your pitch video, take that feedback, reshoot it, And if you are not currently a client of Actors Fast Track, you can email it to me at valerie@actorsfasttrack.com. If you are currently a client at Actors Fast Track, please email it to your respective coach to take a look at. Just that will help me, because there's a lot of people that are actively involved in this challenge. And I really like to sleep. So do that a favor, and don't send me 500 notes around it. Just send me the video. I will get back to you and I will give you notes. Okay. If you did get notes, if you did not get notes, send me the video that you posted yesterday, the pitch video. Again, if you are not a client, send it to Valerie at Actors Fast Track. If you are a client of mine, send it to Valerie at Actors Fast Track. If you are a client and I am not your coach, send it to your respective coach, please. And have them take a look at it and tell you what they think. What's going to happen, just to give you a heads up, is this is your last sort of shot at doing one that's not your final one. Because then tomorrow I'm going to ask you to get your final one ready. And then I'm going to ask you on Thursday to send it. And then Friday, we're going to have like a little ceremony. Okay. So before the event on Saturday. So this is your chance to work on it and get any notes on it. That's the assignment. Now, who has a question?
Me, Christopher.
Yes, Christopher.
I've taken your notes on board, but I'll send it to you. I also sent it to my dear friend, Scott, and he made a really interesting comment.
What did he say?
He suggested that I do it like over a coffee or something, and show. He feels that I'm too stern and formal, but because I feel and you that, you know, I'm there for business, right? So it's like bang, 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 out of there.
Okay,
So
I understand. It's a good question. And this is good for all of you. You are not applying for the CEO of Citibank. You are an actor. So if Scott feels that way, I think he might, it might be a good note. I mean, maybe loosen it up a little bit. I mean, I've always felt like you were a little like this in your pitch videos. And we've talked about that before, like pick it up a little bit, right? Pick up the pace a little bit. And I think, what Scott is responding to is the same thing that I responded to. So he's wanting you to like loosen it a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But he suggested that I tell him the story. But Ridley's got no time to sit back and listen to a story about, something funny.
Well, pick up the urgency then.
Well, the whole pitch is like just a minute.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like, look, if I'm like really want you to get a point, I'm going to be like this. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm really want you to get this point, Chris, because I'm trying to get it across. It's not like, Ridley, I'd like you to get this point, because even if I'm only talking for a minute, there's a difference between this and this. I really would love to be seen for this. And this is why. Check out my thing here. And I know that you don't have the same rhythm I do, but it feels a little like that, like a little stuck in mud to me.
But you didn't pick up on it.
What?
You didn't pick up on it. You didn't give me that.
Chris, yeah. I do pick up on that, but it's also something that I gave you notes on frequently when we were coaching. So it's part of your rhythm and it needs to be unstuck. So sometimes you just need to hear it from another coach. Right. And so what he's telling you to do is a different way of saying it than I would tell you. And I was concerned about the clip, because the clip was too long and you shouldn't have had those credits in there and all of that. That's what I was focused on.
Yeah, I've dealt with that.
Yeah.
I've cut it and I've cut her out and I've cut the credits out.
Okay. Well, send it to me. Okay.
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 I am.
All right. All right, who else has a question?
I do, Jay,
Yes.
Josh.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, so in my research, I found Gail Lerner, who I am excited to pitch to because two of my favorite shows she's worked on, Will and Grace and Blackish. And so I was wondering if it's okay to like actually say her name in the pitch video and like do the list of the works of hers that I've seen that I really like. Like also she did Ben and Kate and a lot of other projects that not only I enjoyed watching, but I would be perfect for in terms of my character type.
Okay. Okay, I saw this with one other person. You guys, you don't need to, Maggie, I saw this with yours a little bit. You were telling him all the things that he cast you in. I think that's a little much. Like, I don't think you need to tell him everything. He knows what he's cast you in. Right. And so I thought that was a little much. And I think, Jay, to tell her the things that she's done, it doesn't help your pitch.
Okay. So I
mean,
can just say like, I like your word.
Like if you're talking about a certain thing, like, you know, like if I'm talking about Will and Grace, I'm going to talk about Sean Hayes' Coffee episode, which is the best episode of TV in my fucking estimation that was ever written. And I have watched that episode so many times and his coffee monologue that I can pretty much repeat it back to you. And so that's genius. And if she wrote that, I would say that because that is true for me to say.
Okay. Because that's the thing that kind of led me into like her collection of works. Because I was just like everything that I've watched that I've enjoyed, that like people associate me with characters from those shows are things that she's worked on. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Well, then just say that.
Okay.
You don't need to detail it out.
Okay.
Okay. And remember, people, this is not the only interaction you're going to have with this person. Okay. So it like, you're not going to send them one thing and then, you know, they're even going to look at it. You have a 10% chance that they're even going to open it and watch it.
Okay.
Which means like 90% chance that they're not. So that's why we have to get used to sending these things all of the time because they don't always get watched.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Thanks, Al. That actually relieves the pressure.
Yes,
Thanks.
Scott. Scott Cargill, you have your hand up. Scott. Okay, I don't know what's up.
Val, I have a question.
I know, you're next, but I'm just finding out what's up with Scott. Yes, okay. I don't know. Yes, Tasha, go ahead.
So I got great notes from you and I believe it was Scott also.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of a two-part question. Do you want me to still just re-record it to redo it? Or is there something?
Well, if you got notes, you need to take those notes.
No, the notes were just, it was great.
Oh, well then no. I mean,
so is there something I should do today?
No. If we think it was great, it was great. I mean, then it's a great first off and send it, you know, then, you know, I mean, like if you did a really great one and it's ready to go, y'all send it and go do another one for someone else, right? Like, go on, Tasha, keep it up. Like this is, you know, look, Tasha, after talking to you yesterday, oh, that Scott seems to have a problem. Here he comes back. Must be some issue. So Tasha, after talking to you yesterday, you have enough agents for every actor on here. And what is stopping you is you, and this is what's stopping 99% of all actors in the world. So Tasha, you are not alone. You are waiting, like, think about this. You are waiting for this little fucking agent to get you up the mountain. And there's all these other things out there for you to get up the mountain, right? There's all these ways that you can be building relationships. Look, if my agent dropped dead tomorrow, God forbid, I would be fine because I have built relationships with producers, directors, and casting directors. And you don't have that, Tasha. And that's what you need. Like, you need to be look, like Meryl Streep got up at the Oscar luncheon and walked across the room to tell Greta Gerwig that she wanted to be in Little Women. She didn't go to her agent and ask her agent to make a call. She runs her business, right? You guys have this fucked up view of that this little agent that makes 10%, that's probably not good, is going to run your entire business for you. That's just not true, and it never has been true. But it's this story that you've been sold, and you bought it, and you invested in it, right? And so it's this story. And what I'm telling you is that it's a story that you believe. And I'm telling you now that you have been sold down the river on a story that is absolutely not true, right? That you have to understand that you as a business, you as an entrepreneur, those are your customers. And if you're not in communication with your customers on a regular basis, you're not in business. So you've been waiting for a salesperson that makes 10%, that's not very good at their job, right? To develop those relationships for you. That's the only mistake you've made, Tasha. You have a really good brand. You're extremely talented. I know. Like, I know, I've been around actors my whole life. I've been working with actors for a very long time. You guys that are all on here, all of you could be working all of the time as actors. People don't get attracted to me that aren't like that. So I know who you are. Like, I know what you should be doing and what you should be. You should be in that Sony Diversity Showcase as well this year, right? You will be next year. But like, right now that we've had the conversation, but like, this is it. This is all that matters to you, Tasha. So no matter if you work with me or whatever you do, you need to be selling yourself on a regular basis to your customers. That's all that matters. Okay. Now, okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess my second part of the question is I was already researching how to get a hold of the person. And it looks like they have a Twitter, an Instagram, maybe a LinkedIn I haven't looked at. Is there a tier of professionalism? Like, you know, if you get their email, go with that first, or Insta versus Twitter, just wherever you get them?
Wherever you can get them.
Would I send that to both, to a Twitter DM and an Insta if I can, or is that over?
I wouldn't do that. I would do one, and if it doesn't go through, I would turn around next week and do it again. I would always be looking for a way. I would always look first for the email if possible, because that's the best, most easy way to get to someone. A lot of times what my clients are doing with like Instagram and Twitter is they're following them, they're commenting on them. So it's a little bit of a longer game before they're not going like cold turkey, sending them a pitch video. What they're doing is giving them attention, right? Which is that's like PR 101, right? And so when you're going for someone via Instagram or Twitter, you want to follow, comment, like, you know, all of those things to be actively involved so they understand who you are. And when they comment back, then you can come a back and forth conversation, right? So you guys, I also want to say that this isn't like, you know, you send one thing out, you get something. Like, you know, both Brian and Scott and Jesse have been at this for a while, right? They've been building these relationships for a while. And so you have to be committed to sometimes a longer game, Tasha. Just know that. Like you might, just send it and nothing happens. And that's most likely what will happen. But again, like you got to be committed to a longer game. And it's crazy how, we teach that a lot at Actors Fast Track, like, because that's always the first question that people ask, like, how do I find them? And it's way easier than you think, but it's also developing a system for yourself of how you go after someone, right? And so that is, but, so hi, Scott, were you having problems getting on?
Yeah, I wouldn't let me. It wasn't letting me use my camera.
I'm Facebook to you, like Facebook is to me.
Oh my God, it's true. Hey, I just want to sort of chime in on that.
Yeah.
One thing that you guys really have to understand is the pitch is the first step, and you need to be starting to think about what you're going to send after the pitch, and the third time you pitch, and the fourth time, right? Because you're going to have to reach out to them between 12 and 15 times before you can expect for them to call you in for an audition. Okay, so that means you can send them once a month, and next year you'll get an audition. You can send them twice a month, and in 6 months you'll get an audition. You can send them 3 times a month, right? It's literally a numbers game. So, and one doesn't do anything for you. It won't do anything for you, right? Yeah. So stop thinking about this as like a really big important thing, because this is the first step. If this doesn't work, oh, and can I just sort of say, I know when you ask about whether you should use simultaneously Instagram and Twitter, you should send them both places. And Val said she wouldn't. Other people would. So the thing is, try both, right? There's no rules. Try one and say, hey, I'm sending this to you on Twitter also because I'm not sure where to get you, and here it is. Then the next time, send it to someone else on Twitter first, and then on, whatever, and see how it works. Because there is no professional way to do things, people. The only professional thing to do, the only unprofessional thing you can do is show up in an audition with a firearm that's loaded. That's the only thing you can do that's wrong, right? So everything else is fine. So stop thinking about professionalism, right? That's Chris, what I was trying to get at when I was giving Chris his note,
yes,
is honestly, when I talk to Chris like this over Zoom, I have a conversation with a clever, funny, witty, smart guy, right? Who is charming and I just adore.
Yes.
I'm not getting that guy in your pitches. I'm getting a character that you play. What I want you to do now is, he knows the character. You've tried that. Try just doing it. Hey, I'm sitting here and look, he has time to listen to your story. If it's interesting, make it a fucking interesting story, Chris. Hi, Ridley. I really want to audition for your show. I know I've sent you some things before. I just want to let you know about this project I'm doing about Alexander. It's really crazy. I'm developing a rash from all the armor. Talk to you soon. Right? That's Chris being cute and funny, and that's all you need. You don't even need you as an actor. You just need Chris to sit down and say, hi, this is me. Let's work together. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. You're a really warm person, and you're so charismatic, and that's what's missing is Chris, the charismatic guy who's so full of energy. And like when I watch you do your Zumba, or your classes that you teach, right? When you're in front of those people, you're so much fun, right? And I think that you can bring a little bit of that guy into your pitch too. Hey, I got to go teach a class, but I just wanted to stop and say hi, and boo, I'll see you later. In fact, if you're making this video when you're on your way to something else, it adds an urgency to it that's already there. I mean, you've already got the urgency.
And I'm so glad you said that. That's what I liked about Violetta's. Violetta's video felt like she just did it, right? Like there's like, it's like Kelsey Edwards' pitch video that we show in our pitch class, Scott. It feels like she just did it, even though we know she did it like probably 500 times. It feels very much like, hey, it's Kelsey, I'm in a hurry, but I just wanted to say, right? It had that feeling to it, like, this isn't you guys, that's the thing that Scott is really trying to say here, is like, you can't make it so important.
I get it. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. See, Scott says it better than me, Chris. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna take these questions and then I gotta skedaddle because I got like 500 people trying to get a hold of me and I've got 2 clients this afternoon. So Violetta, what's up? What's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
So, this is like a very specific question. Not that specific, but after I redid the video for from yesterday, before this even happened, because I wanted to reword it and I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I put more time and effort into it. So I made like it all nicer looking.
Yeah, send that to
Oh.
me.
Hmm?
Send that to me.
Okay. Yeah, but
I mean, but I liked your one that was off the cuff because
Mhm.
I thought, you know, I just liked it because I thought, you know, this is a girl that realizes that, you know, that she's got to do more than one thing to get someone's attention. And she's not gonna, like, you know, you could tell you were a client. Like, I mean, you saw the first one, didn't you, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
No, you know what, you know how to do it. You're so easy. The thing that I just want to highlight for everyone on the call right now is what Viola said, is that it looks off the cuff, but she has to work to make it look off the cuff, right? She does it 5 or 6. I do mine 5 or 6 times because if I don't do it 5 or 6 times, I'm always fumbling over my words. And so I do it 5 or 6 times and then I can make it seem off the cuff, but it looks like I know what I'm doing. I never use the first one. I always know I'm going to have to do it 5 or 6 times to settle in, and then I'll get a good one. So I think that's that. A lot of you could do that. Just do it 5 or 6 times. Get your words out of your mouth. Don't be a mush mouth. You're an actor. You're an entertainer. You got to be entertaining, and your personality is pretty damn entertaining. All of you people. God help you.
Okay.
I'm done.
So
My
let
speech.
me ask Shafin and then Cindy, because they haven't asked questions yet. Shafin, what's your question?
Hi.
Hi.
Firstly, I have absolutely loved this whole like week and a half so far. So it's been, I
good.
love the firing and that you're just like straight up and everything. I love that. So my question is piggybacking off the comment you made about the open rate, like 10% chance that people might open. So do you think there's ever worth like maybe mixing up like a bit written and then having one specific clip that you think is really connected to what you're asking for and shows like the project you want to work on, but also add a bit of yourself before that so they can catch some of your personality, so that if they don't have time to click, they at least read something quickly about you?
Yeah, you know, sometimes people will put bullet points. Like if you don't have time, they'll actually say this. If you don't have time to watch the video, here's what I said that's the most important. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. I think that's great. But again, remember this, that you're most likely going to have to send them something 10 to 15 times. So like also think about what Scott said, what are you going to send next? So frequently, like with our clients, like when I ask them to send something, they have an email tracker on it. So they know whether it got to open and whether they watched it. And then if it doesn't get opened, they 2 days later, they forward the same thing and they say, not sure you saw this.
Okay.
If it does get open, the next week they go, oh, I forgot to send you this, right? And so you hit them like bump, bump. So you always want to hit them bump, bump, and then you want to get to like a monthly thing. So remember that it's just going to, you know, and so, you know, one of the things that like Scott sends newsletters every month, and people always kvetch to me about like, what am I going to say in my newsletter? I'm like, have you read Scott's newsletter? He says the same freaking thing every time he uses the same material over and over again. And every time he sends out a newsletter, he gets 3 and 4 auditions.
Wow.
Right. And so he's not reinventing the wheel, you guys. It's really about this. I just want to remind you of this again. If this is you and I'm your customer, this is all you're doing. This is all you're doing. You know, they're not like in the olden days, right? When we used to have to go, we used to get our headshots printed, and then we would have to go to the printing place and we would have to okay the print before they sent them to get printed. And there would always be that, inevitably, there would be that actress that would be standing there going, there's a hair here. And I'm like, seriously? The only person that's going to see that hair in this is you. The person that's looking at your headshot looks at it this fast. The person that looks at your postcard looks at it this fast. The person that looks at your pitch video. And so this is why you have to do this, because when you do this multiple times, then they go like this. Do I know you? Right? Because you've rented space in their brain. So don't, yes, we want you to like what you're sending out, but we don't also want you to be playing the ultimate game of perfectionism, which is the game that you're focused on, not on booking an acting job. Right. And so that's really what we want to be really clear about. So there's a difference between, yes, Scott redoes his pitch video over 4 or 5 times till it guts, but he's not also going, oh my God, I can't send it out today because it's not perfect. He's not doing that either. Right.
No.
He's sending it out. So we want you to send it out, right? And I really want to say that to all of you. I really want you guys to send something out this week, even if you feel like it wasn't perfect or it could have been better or whatever, because just that action of releasing is going to change you as a business person. You know, like when I first learned how to sell, I'm just going to be really transparent. When I first learned how to sell for Actors Fast Track, the very first girl I ever talked to, I was like basically offering her to pay her to work for me. It was a terrible sales call. And my coach made me record it so he could listen to it. It was so bad. Right? So you guys, we always have to suck before we get, you know, like everything we try that we've never done before, we're not going to be good in the beginning. Very rarely are we brilliant at the beginning. I mean, Scott and a lot of these clients that you see on there that you go, oh my God, that was a really good pitch video. Well, their pitch videos at one time sucked as well.
God,
or they were scared to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And they did it.
One other thing, guys, if you're scared to send out one this week, here's what you do. Have a second person that once you send that pitch out and it's out of your hands, that you could immediately start thinking about working on that next person. Don't sit around and stew in your own juices and look at your email tracker and see if they opened it and then worry, right? Go on to the next thing, have something else to do so you don't think about it. Because that's what happens to me. I got to contact 300 or 400 people every month. I don't have time to sit around and worry about whether this person wants to get or why they unsubscribed or what. I don't give a shit, man. I'm not trying to like get people to like me who don't like me. I'm trying to find the people that are going to like me so like immediately.
Yeah.
So if they unsubscribe, they're not my guy. And I'm not going to waste time on them. Right?
You guys, for you guys that have done a lot of casting workshops, I know you felt this way. You go to a casting workshop and it goes really well. The casting director says they love you and you're so excited and you leave there. Then you go to a casting director and you're like, okay, there's my money, flush it down the toilet, because that's what it felt like. Right. And so we've all done that. And that's the same thing as a casting workshop is a sales call, whether they want to call it that or not. For us, it's a sales call, right? And so sometimes you feel like, well, that was a waste, right? For even me, you guys, when I came back to New York with a TV resume 10 feet high, right? I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to go to these casting workshops and these casting directors are going to go like, wow, because they don't see people with my resume in New York like that. Trust me. The first workshop I went to that I spent nearly $100 on, she didn't even look at my fucking resume. I'm like, great. But the next one got me a reoccurring guest star audition. Right? So that's just the way it is sometimes. Right? Okay. Thank you. So happy to have you here. Really glad. Are you joining us on Saturday?
Yes, I'm based in Hong Kong though, so I'll probably just be
Oh,
a couple of hours at the beginning and then watch the recording.
okay, great. Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
Cindy,
you.
what's up?
Okay, so okay, hold on. I'm on my cell phone, so I don't think I can show my face, but I'm trying to.
That's okay.
Um,
Tell me.
Okay, so here's where, so thank you so much. This has been so helpful. And Scott, what you just said about Chris Pan, because I'm an aerobics instructor and personal trainer, and I have a confidence and a take chargeness that I don't have when I'm doing my pitches for acting. So when I'm doing this pitch for Mr. Andy Walk, I already have a relationship with him. We've already Zoomed before. He's had me in his writers thing. I've done homework for him. We've talked Shakespeare. But so where I get insecure is one, Valerie, you and I have talked about the comedy. He doesn't cast comedy. He casts more like Manifest, Station 19, that sort of thing. So then my head goes, okay, how do I do my funny sort of thing to someone like him? Secondly, Shakespeare, even though I'm studying Shakespeare, I'm not going to be in a Shakespeare production right now. And he just did a Shakespeare movie. So those, but he and I have been emailing and we've been trying to meet for lunch since 2020. So, so I guess my question is now, is that even worth, or should I say when we go out to lunch, this is what we should talk about? Or am I just sort of wasting my time and should just have him as a buddy friend because he might not cast for what you and I are working on.
Oy vey, you're overthinking all this so much. Good God. He's your fucking friend. Just invite him out. When you have him out, say, hey, I don't know if you've ever thought about, casting me. When are you going to call me in for something, pal? Right? I mean, he's your friend.
Yeah.
Stop trying to figure out how to get over what on your friend. Number one, God, you have things you that are apart from the entertainment business. Talk about that stuff. Second of all, listen, you people that do comedy, they fucking need comedy in dramas. I get called in for Hunters, for Westworld. I get called in for stuff like that, and I'm always the guy who's the comic relief. They always need a character in every episode to lighten the mood, right? That's you, right? And even if that's not you, you can take your funny characters and put them in serious situations, can't you?
Yes.
Well, fuck, that's a drama. So there you go. Sorry. You're overthinking it. Just stop thinking. Just stop thinking and do it. You're so ready. You're there. Just do it.
So,
And you can do Shakespeare. Dude, I did Shakespeare for 15 years. I hired plenty of people that had no experience doing Shakespeare because they didn't come up with a faking phony English accent.
That's exactly what I'm learning in my classes. Yes, totally.
So yeah, don't worry. You can do Shakespeare. Oh, believe me. What was that awful thing I saw a few years ago? That Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
That thing. That was They clearly didn't even rehearse. They didn't know what they were talking.
Keanu Reeves, please. Oh God.
No, I mean the thing is they didn't direct it, right? They were all doing the anyway. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so just send it. Listen, I have to go. This has gone on an hour, and I have clients in like 4 minutes. So I have to skedaddle all you guys because I have a client coming on here that's for his coaching. So go reshoot it. If you are not currently a client at Actors Fast Track, send it to me at Valerie at Actors Fast Track. I can see that Arvid already sent it. Thank you, Arvid. I will take a look. And if you are currently a coach, a client, send it to your coach and do it, you guys.
You guys are killing it.
You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Scott texted me. He's like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. So thank you so much. I love you all. And I will see you guys all real soon. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Same
Thank you,
place.
Valerie. Thank you,
Bye.
Scott.